Hello, everyone. I am Becca's younger sister, and I'm also Josh's younger sister, which is really exciting. And it's great because he treats me terribly too, so it's just like Becca, a welcomed addition to the family. So, as Becca's younger sister, she constantly complained when we were growing up that I got away with everything, that I was spoiled, that I was the favorite child, and it was true. I really did get away with a lot. And so, until Olivia came along, and then someone else stole my spotlight. It's fine. So I was thinking, I was like, oh, on Becca's wedding day, I'm going to tell a story about a time I got away with something because I know she'll love to hear about it and love to reminisce. So before I tell this story, there's 3 things you need to know about Becca and I growing up. The first one is Becca and I fought like crazy. And this isn't like bickering. This is like spitting in her face, pulling her hair, punches, kicks, names, the whole 9 yards. So that's the first thing. This is just the first thing. The second thing is I had spontaneous nosebleeds as a child. Constantly, for no reason. And the third thing is that I could also cry on cue. I was very emotional. So one day, Becca and I were fighting, God knows why, and she started chasing me. So I ran into our bathroom, and I slammed the door. And as luck would have it, my nose started bleeding. And some people might panic, but I said, this is an opportunity. And I decided to start crying. And I opened the door, bawling, blood streaming down my face. And I go to our mom's room. And I'm sure mom's going to love this one because she comes off really good in this story. I go, Mom, Becca hit me. And you know who got in trouble? It was Becca. Years later, we told our mom that she was a sucker. And I did tell her. I thought it was funny. Yeah. So, being the younger sister has its perks. And what makes today so special is I don't feel like the younger sister today. I don't feel like the one who's getting everything they want. I don't feel spoiled. I don't feel lucky. Well, okay, I'm sorry. That was a little dark. I do feel lucky. It's fine. Whatever. But I think today, Becca truly is the younger sister, She's getting Josh. What more could you want, Yeah. She is truly spoiled by getting the chance to marry such a wonderful, wonderful person. Right now would be a great time. And I feel like you're the one getting away with everything today. So I hope you enjoy being the younger sister. It won't happen ever again, I promise. I get the spotlight most days, but you can have it today. That's fine. So to Becca and Josh.
My name's Dylan. Josh and I have known each other since freshman year of college, and how our relationship started is how many great relationships are starting these days. We both put in details about our lives online. We were randomly matched up, and then we began conversing online. It wasn't Match.com. It was Gonzaga's online portal for their residence life. So it was how we were randomly matched up as roommates for whatever reason. Gonzaga felt we would live well together. And so I remember sending an email saying, well, I've never done this before, but I think we're roommates. And I got an email back from Josh, and he said, yeah, I haven't done it either. I guess I should talk about myself. And one of the 2 first things he told me is that I love Star Wars, and I love Lord of the Rings. And I distinctly remember putting both fists in the air and yelling, yes, my roommate is a nerd. Because so am I. And I knew that because we had that, at least we had one thing in common, and that if all else failed, we could watch Star Wars or Lord of the Rings. So that was a great way to start. So we finally met in person in Gonzaga, started up. His parents were there already, helping him all get were there. And so for the next 2 years, we lived together in the dorms. And during that time, I learned a lot about Josh in a very good way. I learned that he finds joy in the simplest things, such as when we found that the classic show Wishbone, a show about a dog reading classical literature, a staple of both our childhoods, was online. One of the greatest nights of our college freshman year. We didn't end up watching as much because we were both busy, but it was a great night. I learned that he's conscientious, sometimes to a fault, such as when he failed to tell me how bad my lacrosse stuff smelled. I played lacrosse. I kept it in the room. I couldn't tell how bad it was. But then Josh, finally I got a locker for it, and he said, thank goodness, that really, really smelled. But it showed that he didn't want to cause conflict, that he could deal with it. It wasn't the biggest thing. So we got along great. I learned that he cares so deeply about so many people, seen in the work that he did in countless volunteer organizations throughout Gonzaga, and just grabbing anybody he could, saying, you need to do this, you need to do this. And it was just kind of authentic compassion for others, and he felt this way, and there was nothing he could do but do this. So I saw that and all the time. And then in our second year, our sophomore year, I started to learn that Josh really liked this girl, Becca. We had not met her. It was in between freshman and sophomore year, the summer. Josh sent a Facebook message to a group of the other 5 groomsmen. 4. I'm the 5th. There's 6 of us. Math. But he sent it to all of us and said, hey, I think I might have a girlfriend. This was in the middle of the year, and then so bit by bit he told us, yeah, I'm going to be starting sophomore year with a girlfriend. And our freshman year, we all got really close, that group of guys, and we were protective of everyone in it. And so we were like, well, we don't know this girl. But I guess if Josh likes her, might as well give her a chance. But we still had never met her. And bit by bit, we got to meet Becca in the times that Josh and her would be Skyping, just talking about their days, and we would barge into the room and make Josh uncomfortable and make fun of him, and Becca would be laughing at us and then telling us that we needed to leave because they were trying to talk. And we were getting in the way, and so bit by bit we got to meet Becca, but still had never met her in person. And then finally she came and visited, and that's when I kind of got to see that it was something real. We could tell from them talking, and how they were able to mix this long distance relationship, make it work, where they were so committed to making sure they knew what was going on with the other, but they were still, at least, I don't know with you, Becca, because I wasn't there, but I saw with Josh, he was always able to engage fully with his life as well, that it wasn't ever pulling him away from his life. They worked together to be part of each other's lives in different cities, but also be with their friends where they were. And so finally, Becca came and visited. And we got to know her, and we got to see how they looked at each other, and we got to see how they interacted, and it just always felt real. And then it's continued on. We just got to see so many times. I'm saying we because that group of guys, it just kind of is how everything happens, is that we work together. And so we've got to see them grow together. We've got to see them, how they authentically continue that compassion that we saw in Josh, where they bring it out in each other. They can't help but help others. And in everything that they choose to do, they want to make the world a better place. And I can't think of 2 better people to continue that on. And they complement each other and really make it better. And we're so glad that you're together and that you have us all here and that we got to see everyone else that's been part of their lives. So, to Josh and Becca, have a merry life.
Good. I'm Gentry. I am one of Becca's maids of honor, and I met Becca in undergrad when we went to Arizona State University together. We have been the best of friends ever since. So first, I just want to say thank you to Becca and Josh and your families for having us here tonight and allowing us to celebrate with you. Very exciting time. Okay, so the toasting. Okay, Becca. You have been and remain the most patient, loyal, and dedicated friend that I have had. Oh, I know. I'm gonna tear up. I know. I know if you get a call at 10 o'clock at night from me or any of your friends, you are willing to make a trip to Applebee's and have terrible happy hour onion rings and lend a sympathetic ear, as has happened many times with all of us, I am sure. I cannot count the number of times that Becca has been there for all of her friends when they needed comforting or someone to cry on, or the number of times that Becca has stalwartly defended her friends, family, and her principals. I remember helping Becca put together her honors thesis when we went to college together on using the Hunger Games to teach global themes to, I think, high school students. And I remember thinking, this is someone who is really passionate and dedicated and who's going to change the world one heart at a time. Okay. And Josh, you are the fire that the water that tempers that fire. There we go. Close enough. The hand that steadies when she stumbles. And Becca is that for you as well. Because what I love about you guys is I think you do a really great job of balancing out each other's strengths and weaknesses. In fact, when Becca met Josh, she was pretty convinced that he was the one for her. She said, I'm going to date that guy. Yeah, that one right there. Seemed to work out okay. Seemed pretty happy. Okay. And so even though Josh had said to her upon first meeting her, forget about me, I'm not going to ASU. But Josh was not so forgettable, and neither was Becca. As they say, once they saw the ocean, no other water compared. And so everyone knew how heads over heels Becca was for Josh when she was willing to watch all 9 hours of the Lord of the Rings movies for him. Not the 12 hours for the extended version. I don't know. Oh, the 12 hours. Okay, so the whole 12 hours. That's an extra 3. I'm really impressed now. That is dedication. Just to be with him. And pretty soon, before anyone realized, they had become a unit. It was no longer Becca, and maybe Josh too. It was Becca and Josh. Becca and Josh. And what I really love about Becca and Josh as well is that they have grown up together, so they haven't grown apart. And I think that means they've kept some of their interests that I share with both of them, but that are separate. Whether that is obsessively drinking coffee with the Gilmore Girls in Stars Hollow, or strapping on an armor and sword with the Bridgeburners in the Malazan fantasy world. So, I'm so honored to be here. Okay. Tearing up a little. So Becca and Josh, your love makes us laugh and cry in all the best ways. They say that marriage is a conversation, and I hope, or rather I know, that with you two it will be an amazing one. So here's to Becca and Josh.
Hi everyone, my name's Patrick. I'm one of the other, 5 groomsmen? Well, there's 5 of us. And we all went to Gonzaga, where we obviously didn't know how to count, but they let us in anyways. So when Josh and Becca asked me to give a speech, we were sitting at Cheesecake Factory, and they politely asked me to do it, and then went on to list the stories that I couldn't tell. So if that gives you any information about what kind of friend I am, I'm that guy. So out of respect for them, I will be at the bar, and we can go over those later. Yes. But out of respect for them, and for this lovely event, Josh and Becca, are 2 of a kind. They really took it all. No, it's funny because we knew Josh, and I mean we lived together for 4 years almost. And so when Becca came into his life, what better way to get to know Becca but in New York City? If you have any inkling about who she is, just turn on and watch the New York Yankees for a little while, and then realize that the better baseball team in New York is actually the Mets. And then, and so that was a great chance. We spent a week in New York, and it was a lot of fun. And it really gave insight into the woman that Josh saw. And it was a lot of fun. And it was actually a lot of fun because Josh wasn't there, and we were there with Ryan. And so everyone thought that Ryan and Becca were dating. Even to the point when we were at the zoo, the guy came up to Ryan and Becca and said, "You are the most gorgeous couple we have ever seen." So cheers to Ryan. And a few years later, we graduated from Gonzaga and still haven't learned how to count. And they moved out to Virginia, and I'm in Tennessee. And luckily for me, they're so close. No matter the distance, it's 7 hours from middle of nowhere, rural Tennessee, to the suburbs of D.C. These two would drive down and see me with their 2 dogs, Winnie and Rosie. And I honestly, I can't ask for better friends. And I can't look up to anyone more than you two. But really you, even though we know that the Mets are the better team.
27-2.
I know she does. And it's so true. And I can't wait to watch you guys grow and your family, to see all the more dogs that you can get. And so I really want to give a toast, since I'm the last one, to the beautiful couple, to the ones we all look up to, especially Fane. Yeah, that joke is said again. So to this and to many more. Cheers.